Hello, hello. Welcome to the Squirrel Circus podcast. I'm the Rainbow Squirrel, and I'm joined by my co-hosts, Ian and Andy the Moss Guardian. Say hi.
Hello, hello, hello. Once again,
Hello.
once more. We're back, we're back.
And today, this is going to be sort of a commentary on some videos that have been put out there, especially one specific video about how I think the title of the video is How AI Slop Will Lead to the Next Human Renaissance. If I'm not
Yeah,
mistaken.
something like that. Something like that. It's an
And so,
interesting
yeah,
thought.
we'll give our thoughts on sort of the theses of the video, try to get a deeper understanding of what's going on. And so, yeah, what did you guys think?
I think it's what the video talks about. I think it really feels very true, right? It feels like I guess the next renaissance in general is kind of inevitable because of how human history works and how societies change and how the renaissances have happened, renaissances will happen, but it's interesting to think that the next like human renaissance and like at least a spiritual human renaissance is very close to us right now, right? It seems like it can happen anytime. So I think, yeah, estamos fine.
Se
Estamos
dice
for right now.
Renaissance, se dice Renaissance or Renaissance.
Renaissance. No estoy
Renaissance.
seguro.
Se dice Renaissance. Renaissance suena muy mal.
I'm sorry about that.
It's okay.
Sorry.
Pero igual y sí se dice así. That's why I thought maybe
Renaissance. Ren-
Renaissance. Renaissance. Renaissance.
no sé.
Say it in French.
Vamos a ver, vamos a ver. Pron- pronounce Renaissance.
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 Renaissance. Renaissance.
Renaissance.
The
I say Renaissance.
bullshit.
Renaissance.
Renaissance. I don't
Renaissance.
Renaissance sounds cooler.
Renaissance. Renaissance. Renaissance.
Renaissance. Renaissance.
The Renaissance.
Renaissance. Renaissance.
Wait, are we still recording?
I think
That
we are.
depends
I
on
think we
you.
are.
Okay, so yeah, okay, let's keep going. Let's keep rolling. I just have to get the chart.
Yeah, let's vote. Let's vote in the commentaries. Is it Renaissance or Renaissance?
Yes, comment.
What is it?
Comment down
What
below.
is it?
What I found about the video, it was different from all videos that I've seen before about AI. Like, especially this month or these months, I've seen a lot of like doomsday videos where they're saying how AI is basically going for the destruction of humanity and that we're doomed and that everything is horrible and that World War III is gonna start and like it's all bad news, right? And seeing that como thumbnail of the renaissance of or renaissance of humanity because of AI, it was very refreshing and the points that it made sense, right? Also, I remind you guys that I'm not the most cultureful and informed person, okay? I am not very much online and I don't know everything, okay? But it felt like there was hope, right? And that's what I liked about it because it gave another perspective to this whole doom idea. And I think it's very important to believe in that because nobody knows what the future is going to be about, right? And if everyone thinks that everyone else is stupid enough to like to make AI competitiveness and make AI the best and then ruling us and like all this doom thing, then we're never gonna have the hope and energy to actually, I don't know, progress forward. I don't know. What do you guys think?
I just have there was just one section of the video that rubbed me the completely wrong way, completely wrong. Um, but I wanna look at more of the positives of the video before we get into that. Like the hope angle is a really good thing. I am glad that there's a sort of a pushback against the doomsday AI idea, even if I don't like the way the pushback is being done.
You're gonna elaborate on that afterwards, no?
Yes, yes, we'll get to why I think the video made a horrible mistake.
Okay.
um, I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I don't know what else to say. I think I can start like philosophizing my own way through the whole message of the video. But no, I'm curious. I'm curious. What did you not like about the video?
The big
I think
mistake,
I think
the oh,
What do you
oh,
know that we don't?
the crucial mistake of the video was to say that meaning comes from suffering. Meaning needs suffering. There's a quick part of the video of around halfway through. Uh, there's
okay.
this drawing of a guy
Hmm.
climbing a mountain in armor. That struck me as not only wrong, but there's a difference between something that's wrong and something that's anti-true. The three big, or I shouldn't say the big, three of the big ideas that have sort of shaped my views on meaning are the generational idea,
Mhm.
the ideas of Viktor Frankl, and the ideas of Ayn Rand. I guess we should look at Viktor Frankl first because it leads into the other two. Viktor Frankl was in a concentration camp and survived the Holocaust. And he wrote a book called Man's Search for Meaning. And so
Oh,
immediately the
okay.
fact of being a Holocaust survivor gives him some authority because if you can find meaning in conditions of such suffering, then maybe you can find meaning anywhere.
Okay.
What
Yeah.
Viktor Frankl points to as the source of meaning is helping others, having some sort of service toward humanity and a disposition towards staying alive. Uh, uh, staying. And
Okay.
so his idea, it's not that meaning comes from suffering, it's that meaning is so profound that it can survive despite suffering, not because of it.
Hmm.
So that's one. What do you think about that?
I guess I interpreted it differently in the video. Suffering, I didn't take it as literal suffering, like only if you suffer you can get meaning. I took it more like an if you go through experiences in life, you will find more conclusions, right? And these conclusions can be expressed in art, for example, or philosophies, personal philosophies that you express in a medium, right? And so AI, in contrast, it had like a collective experience, the most average human experience, right? Because AI is part of like the whole internet and it knows what a human experiences, but it doesn't experience like one thing, right? Like as a human
Yeah,
does.
it is biased towards average, right? And its
Exactly.
reactions, and then it's constructed upon bias. It's
Yeah,
the
so it
bias
can
of
mimic
all
it.
humanity. Yeah, I mean, of
It
from
can
all
kind
the
of mimic it, but the meaning, the true meaning that the video I think is pointing towards is more caused by like human experience. And that's what like the AI lacks. That was his point, I think.
But the video does say quite explicitly, meaning comes from suffering. I think that's almost verbatim what it
yeah.
says, which leads to the second view of meaning that I think can sort of tell us something about the creation of AI. People suffer so that their descendants have to suffer less and less and less and less with each generation. And that's what progress, that's at least one view of what progress is. It's like you fight so that I really like the words of Iron Man on this in Avengers Age of Ultron. Precisely,
Hmm.
he creates a massive AI that tries to destroy the world, but he defends it by saying, "Isn't that why we fight? So that we can end the fight, so that we get to go home?" That is the impulse, the generational impulse behind every technology. Like, it's great that we have sewing machines so that instead of two pieces of clothes at most, our children can have 50.
Hmm.
We we ration our own portions of food as we develop agriculture so that our children may have a surplus and never go hungry again in their lives. I think there is meaning. There's more meaning in the reduction of suffering than in suffering itself.
That's a very good point.
But isn't there also because you're yes, you're working to reduce the suffering for the future. But then it doesn't isn't there a kind of suffering in not having problems to solve? Isn't there like a lack of meaning there? And therefore, while
I think,
solving the problems for the future will suffer from that in a way.
yeah, I think
And
we
I
would
think
benefit
that's
a lot if we would define meaning first, because we might be talking about different meanings. What is meaning for you, Rainbow Squirrel?
Meaning is it's going to be an inherently very poetic answer because it's not a very analytical concept, but it's that which drives you forward.
mhm.
It's I like
Mhm.
how Elon Musk puts it. There have to be reasons why you wake up in the morning and you're happy to be alive. That's meaning.
Yeah, that makes sense. That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
I don't know.
And
Yeah,
I do
I
want
guess
to
we
sorry,
go
I do
ahead.
want to
Go ahead.
address the lack of problems creating a sort of suffering. That is absolutely true. But I don't think that there's ever a lack of problems. There's only ever different problems.
Yeah, that's
And that's something that meaning is useful for. It's like, let's say you're a Roman emperor and you have access to everything. You have access to partners, you have access to food, you have access to beautiful architecture, you have access to transport, you have access to art, you have access to everything. What's going to motivate you to get up in the morning and do something? I think that there is a power of will, uh, or a will to power, as our dear Nietzsche might put it, that can drive you to always find some problem, something that is not yet solved, and put your efforts into that.
Okay.
Yeah,
But
Like
there
I
has to
our
be,
also,
if you think about it, there has to be like a switch of mind there. I find that there are two different scenarios um where your meaning is it can be driven by wanting to do, let's say yeah, there's two different scenarios I can think of. Is you're born into a harsh world where you have no other option but to get up and work, right? And because if not, you don't eat the next day, right? You have to get up every single day and you have to work, because if not, it will all go downfall like very quickly. And then like there is that's kind of your source of meaning, right? Trying to stay alive day to day. But so you don't have to create like something to do, like the life kind of throws you stuff to do that you kind of have to deal with, and you just have enough time in a day to do as much work as you can, but there is a limit to that, right? But when
yes,
when when a lot of these issues are solved for you, then you kind of have to start creating your own meanings, right? I guess the people who it's funny. I think of um, certain third world countries where I have been, where there is like a substantial amount of desigualdad, right? Of
inequality.
economic despair, and but it's funny that in these countries people are not necessarily like miserable. Like there is a difference between an economically difficult life in a country and a miserable life. And it seems like this need to I can only think of Mexico right now because it's where I grew up. But you see people in in a circumstance of life where they have to live, how I explained, right? They have to work every single day and they have to cover their whole day with work, and they barely like even can get enough work into the time of the day to keep themselves alive and keep providing enough for their family. And it's just this just takes t- all the time away from being able to do like nothing and be in a state of idleness and think, and think and bury yourself with thought and trying to find meaning in thought instead of an action. And I feel nowadays, each time more of us are starting to live in this state of not having much to do, like especially
Yes,
younger people.
that
And
I
younger people have to start creating meaning for themselves, or have to start creating like a source of meaning, but it's difficult because there is not enough guidance, right? The guidance that we have is the media, and what we consume, and what we consume is AI slop, right? And it's just quick, quick product and quick consumption, and it just
yeah,
it
no
feels like
effort,
it's killing
right?
us,
No
right?
effort in the dopamine. Zero
Yeah.
effort dopamine, which makes effort dopamine very hard, if you know what
So
I
we're
mean.
suffering,
yes,
but it seems like we cannot find the meaning in the suffering anymore, right? Like an average middle lower class Mexican who has to work and has to suffer, and from the suffering can find the meaning. I feel like we're kind of starting to defer in a great part of the world, and it seems like we're progressing towards that problem.
I think
And I feel
there's a
like
really
that's
good
where
way
the
to put this.
Renaissance kind of go ahead. I've been yapping for a while now.
Don't worry, don't worry.
Go
No,
ahead.
it was really good because you hit two very key points, very important points. The first is before technology, or the less technology you have, the more that your problems are defined by your capability. Like, how much
Hmm.
are you able to do with a certain amount of work? Once you pass a certain threshold with technology, or rather, as you have more and more technology, the problems you can solve are defined by your creativity. And the creativity has to
Okay.
go in two places. It has to go in determining what the problem is, because it goes way beyond your material needs, and in solving the problem in a way that is satisfactory to you. And with enough creativity, you can use as much technology as there is at your disposal to solve the problems that your creativity led you to. I think the problem is not technology itself dissolving meaning or by erasing problems.
Hmm.
It's that problems now have to be looked for. They have to be found, and
Yeah,
creative solutions to those problems have to be found.
exactly. Hmm.
So I think maybe the new Renaissance thing, as opposed to what the video says, isn't going to come from a rejection of technology, because a rejection of technology is more characteristic of a dark age than a Renaissance, but by let's say, a seed, an engine of creativity that finds a way to look for and solve problems that are not tied to necessity or material necessity, but that are tied to spiritual necessity.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Imagine we create a machine for that.
That would be horrible. That sounds very
I'm gonna
horrible.
start
That all
working on
sounds
it. I'm gonna
horrible.
start working on it.
I think it just becomes an eternal regress, though, because then you'd have to find creative ways to use that machine. And then you create a machine for that. And then you find creative uses for that new machine, and so on and
But
so on.
doesn't that feel kind of what we're like what we are doing or what we're getting to? It seems I
Yeah,
don't know.
It
It seems kind of
does.
impossible, but
The thing
it
is,
feels like it. Yeah.
if the problems that we're looking for aren't tied to necessity, it feels a lot like these viral TikTok products that these people are trying to sell to you that you absolutely don't need, but they're looking charming and fancy, and people buy them. And that
Yeah.
feels very fake. It feels, ugh, feels like they're using you, right? They're using you for money for things you don't even need or couldn't even imagine. Like, I don't know. I don't know any example, but I
why
don't
would
like
No,
you?
that
but
future at all. I don't think I like
Why
that
would you
future at
settle
all.
for what you need, though?
What?
Why would you settle for what you need? Like, this
Because
is, sorry, go
because
ahead.
why wouldn't I?
because if you can have anything, then you just keep. I don't know if
Keep
you
wanting,
keep
yeah.
spending your time wanting. You know. I don't know how. I mean, for me, it doesn't feel healthy.
It
I think it's
doesn't.
a very
No.
personal thing. Like I don't
Mhm.
judge uh, massive consumers and stuff, but I
Mhm.
myself feel it unhealthy, and I myself feel it like I don't know.
Oh, and
Which,
imagine how much more plastic and waste that's going to generate.
fair enough. What you guys are saying leads to the third view of meaning that's the most hostile to what the video is saying. And it's from our dear Ayn Rand.
Beautiful, beautiful.
Remind me
What
who
Ayn
does
this
Ayn
guy
Rand,
Rand
is.
say? What does Ayn Rand say?
Remind me who he is, please. I am uncultured.
he is one of the greatest philosophers of all time.
In your opinion, yes?
The
No,
Fountainhead.
the
Ah, okay,
Fountainhead?
yeah, he is the
Yeah.
greatest philosophy. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I agree.
She.
Yeah, she wrote The Fountainhead. She wrote Atlas Shrugged, and I think Atlas Shrugged gets closer to sort of what her idea of meaning is. You guys have been describing this problem with, well, now you have everything, and all that you have to do is consume and consume and consume.
Mhm.
And Ayn Rand would agree with you that that endless consumption for the sake of consumption is not going to give you meaning. It's not going to fulfill you. What's going to fulfill you is creation. And you can say, well, AI makes creation so easy that it makes it meaningless. But no, AI, if you choose to use it, you can still put as much effort as you want, as you can, into making it truly your own. You can amplify your output. And it doesn't stop you from using non-AI tools to create art, whether that be music or videos or images or texts. It's only an amplifier for whoever wants to use it. And so again, it's pushing the boundary away from what you're capable of and towards what your creativity can drive you toward. That's the new renaissance. Not endless consumption, but effortless creation once everyone's basic needs and beyond are met.
Okay, there's a
Oh no. Am I frozen?
really gonna be.
No, the
Sorry.
thing is, you can still
Sorry.
put the effort into creation even though you are using AI. That's the point. So it doesn't matter how much easier the job becomes, you can still put even more effort into it.
Ah, okay. So it's
You know,
basically
so
like
it's
a
not a
ladder.
thing, it's not a thing about achieving, but more a thing of creating for the sake of creating. The creating for the sake of putting as much energy into a creation to make it as much as
Yeah.
possible, you know.
I mean, that's always going to be a thing. That's always going to be a thing. I mean, it's already out there. So there's no going back, obviously. Like, there's still going to be people who are going to use AI to to make the base or the sketch for their final artwork. Or there are
Yep.
people who are brainless and are going to use AI to use it as a final artwork, and that's not their artwork. It's AI's artwork still.
Yes.
But there are always going to be these people. I mean, the tools are out there, no? And I completely agree that rejecting AI is like pointless because it's already there. And why not learn about it? Why not learn how to use it for your own fulfillment? Yeah, that I agree with. And the Renaissance that we're talking about in the video, it also can be achieved like with AI, but the thing is that the video was targeting the slop. So basically
Slop, yeah, not the
the
usage of
the A
AI in general, but also the consumption
exactly.
part of it.
So like
What
the
like
the
what are we
generative
consuming?
AI that people are using brainlessly with no effort, that is basically like it's it's slop. That's what it is, no? And and yeah, if you see that in your feed, you're constantly kind of reminded that it's all like it's invading the feed, right? It's all slop and bullshit, and you think everyone's gonna like everyone is worse, no? That's what I've been thinking about. Like many people think that other people are stupid, right? Many people think that these people who use generative AI, they're stupid. Yes, there are people who use generative AI to make stupid slop things, but more people than we think are thinking just like us. And that's what makes me like have this hope of this renaissance, right? And that's what the video is it told me, no, that people are gonna appreciate handmade art, right? Art that was made with with their own hands, or maybe like more effort into it than slop, like comparing with a slop. And that's what I really liked about the video, to realize that there are more people out there.
I
Yeah,
think
kind of more both.
there's something interesting in the video where they compare AI to the invention of writing, and they bring up the story from Plato and Thoth and the king that um, yeah, Thoth invents writing, and the king is like, no, this is going to be terrible. It is going to destroy our memories. And there was already a time in history where writing grew and grew and grew, and there were so many authors and so many texts and so many libraries, and then people went away from that, and all of that disappeared. But that wasn't the Renaissance. That was the Dark Age.
It was the Dark Ages. Yeah.
The Renaissance was bringing back the rebirth of those books and those authors. That's what it was. And the embrace of new technologies, the embrace of really precise lenses, for example, which led to the microscope, which were used to test linen, commercial stuff. You went from
Hmm.
Yeah.
markets to one of the greatest scientific instruments ever devised, telescopes, measuring tools, all sorts of things. That was the Renaissance.
But
Yeah,
doesn't it seem like for a Renaissance you kind of have to have a death before? Because Renaissance to me sounds like renacimiento, the
it's
rebirth
basically
of something,
yeah,
right?
I
And
think
before
there
the
was.
rebirth of something, it doesn't mean that.
No,
it
no, I
does, it
think there
does.
was a death. I think there was already.
Oh, what would that death be?
The death of meaning, the death of self-driven creativity. This is another point I wanted to get to. Slop precedes AI. Long before there was generative AI, people were making slop on TikTok. And before TikTok existed, before the internet existed, the news was already full of
Yeah,
slop, pure slop all the time. Effortless, formulaic, low, just bad slop. Just slop news everywhere. Slop architecture all around.
Hmm.
Like the death of that sort of creativity really did come, and it just so happened that AI came in at a time where creativity was dead. And so most of
okay.
what ends up being produced is slop.
Yeah, that's a very interesting thought. That's a very, very interesting thought. To see it more as like AI being being a factor thrown into the soup that has already spoiled like a long time ago, and AI
Exactly.
just doesn't help. It's like saying, yeah, but we can put chocolate in this soup and it'll be just fine. But it just fucking doesn't.
This
Yeah, and
mold
it
is
definitely
rising all over.
it makes a lot of sense because also the depression rates and the suicide rates have been like so high these
They're
past centuries.
skyrocketing.
It's
Yeah,
it's
no, it's
it's
crazy stuff.
basically it's basically telling us and reinforcing the idea that meaning is dying. Yes, definitely.
And
Yep.
that's where the Renaissance comes. It seems to be like one of those. medicines, I guess, one of those
Yeah.
solutions to death. I mean,
That's where
it
I'm
has
like,
to happen. It has to happen.
the
And also,
Renaissance, sorry,
uh-huh. No, no, no.
the Renaissance isn't going to be a rejection of AI in favor
Oh
of
no.
suffering for the sake of suffering. That's not what it's going to be. That's
Yeah,
not the
no.
Renaissance. That's medieval. The Renaissance, if it happens, is going to be this realization that the only way to find meaning in a world where basic needs are met is going to be through creativity, through achievement, through
Yes.
the effort of creation. And if that comes with suffering, it's not the suffering that gives you the meaning. It's the meaning that makes you capable of surviving the suffering.
I like that a lot.
Hell yeah.
I like that
Hell
a
yeah.
lot. Applause for you again. I wanted to add also the imagery of art because I've like the times I've been in Instagram lately, all I see is like anti-AI stuff and like very, very emotion-filled videos about you can do better, don't use AI. AI is destroying your soul. And like I actually like it makes you 100% like believe that AI is the worst thing that ever happened to humanity, okay? But the thing is, this sense of doom is in the art industry, right? I don't think it's that dramatic. I mean, yes, there's gonna be pressure, right? But I see art as like a balloon, a balloon, right? A rubber balloon, maybe not like fully como, but like a flaccid balloon, okay? And basically, what happens if you squish that balloon too hard? It will pop up to where it can, no? And I think that's what art is. If you stress it a lot, if there's like a threat to that area of art, like digital art or I don't know, any type of art that you can imagine that is threatened by AI right now, it's gonna squish, but it's gonna pop out in another form, right? That also it
Yeah, it's
happens
got like an
all the
unchangeable
time.
volume kind of thing.
Exactly. Like humans, they need art. They do art. They express themselves that way. And it's not gonna die. It's not gonna be replaced. Like many jobs are gonna be replaced, but art is gonna reveal itself in a different form. And that's gonna be part of the Renaissance, I think. I'm very excited for that. No, yes.
That way.
Yes, it's a slippery thing. Art is a slippery thing.
But
It,
it's
that's I
undying.
like
It's
I like the
undying.
analogy. You try to squish it somewhere and it will pop up elsewhere,
Yeah.
just
It's
reacting to the
undying. It's
situation.
undying.
Yeah,
Art is immortal.
yeah. Let's
Uh,
just not forget it's there, right? And let's just like go back to it, and use
Yeah, now more
it.
than
Absolutely.
ever we're gonna do that.
Really,
Now more
most of
than
my
ever.
commentary on the video was just about the suffering thing. That part just, I was like,
You
Yeah, no,
hated
but it's
that.
interesting.
fuck,
It's
fuck.
interesting because we find that even if you change some words and you look at it from different philosophical perspectives, you will still kind of arrive into the same conclusion, and it is that change is coming, right? Change is coming, and it's going to come for better. Tomorrow's always going to be better, and yesterday
You're a
wasn't
given? Yes, sir.
better just because it was yesterday, and yeah,
Spinetta. Spinetta
Spinetta,
mention. Spinetta
yeah,
mention.
Who's been that?
Luis
Spinetta,
Alberto
Flaco Spinetta,
Spinetta.
Luis
He's our
Alberto
god.
Spinetta,
He's our
one
god.
of the most beautiful
Human beings to ever walk on
human
Earth.
beings and poets, and yeah, Argentinian
Mhm.
guy from the 70s. Very good musician. Shout out Luis Alberto Spinetta.
Rest in
He's a
peace.
kind of my Jesus Christ type thing.
Rest in peace.
I
Rest
love
in peace.
him. I love him like that. Yeah.
The Jesus Christ of music. Who would be my Jesus
So
Christ?
yeah, guys, check out the video that
Tim
we've been
Henson.
commenting about.
Tim
Uh,
Henson. Yeah,
check
that's
out the video. It's very beautifully hand-drawn video.
Yes.
Uh,
Yes, and
very
look out for
beautiful.
that suffering part. Don't buy that. The rest of the video is really really
Remember
well
our
made.
teachings.
Well, like, subscribe, and the video will be linked below. Bye bye.